Whoops, they heard my workout pause deal.
Workout pause.
Hey, I got to tell you something. Yesterday, very quickly before I introduce everyone.
Who the hell are you?
Exactly. I looked at my watch, because I had done a lot of work. We're moving stuff back and forth and carrying stuff and all the rest of it. Most of my watch timed it out perfectly, but for some reason, I looked at my watch and it said I had walked 12 miles. Like, no. I did not walk 12 miles.
Probably not.
So why did it think you...
I don't know. It's never done that before. I don't understand what that's all about. In any case, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tom Bernard Show with the family and friends and...
Co-host Catherine Brandt.
Alex Bernard Rasmussen.
Andy Brandt Bernard.
And Michael Bryant.
And Kristen Burt.
And Kristen Burt. Okay,
Hello.
Kristen, should we just clear the tables because I am getting overwhelmed with what are you going to say about Stir? And because this is the only market he got slaughtered in this market.
I actually wrote that on my list for today's hot topic.
Oh, did you? Well, apparently everybody did.
It was a glorious time to be alive in Minneapolis.
Yes, glorious time. So, well, I'll just turn it over to you then. Kristen Burt, Entertainment News, brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. So...
Okay, well, for people who don't know, there's a report now. I'm going to tell you right now. It comes from the U.S. Sun. So
the U.S. what?
We're a little
U.S. Sun. So it's a questionable report.
What is U.S. Sun? I've even heard of them.
It is the U.S. version of the Sun, which is
I didn't
pretty
even know they
major
existed.
UK. Yeah,
I knew the
UK
Sun
outlet.
existed.
Yeah, the U.S. Sun is the American version of it. So I will say that it's like a 50-50, but I also say where there's smoke, there's fire, and some of these things, which we've talked about a lot on this show in the changing economy and the changing economics of Hollywood, the allegations made by the Sun are that Stern's contract is up. He signed it in 2020.
Right.
And that it is going to, they're going to come to the table with a smaller contract, and they believe that Howard will not agree to that number. They'll never meet in the middle, and then they will part ways.
Yeah,
Right.
He's got plenty of money. Why would he take a hit?
Yeah.
Right. And reportedly, it was a $500 million contract in 2020.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Insane.
That kind of money doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
Not-
It
not
doesn't
there.
exist. And
No.
it's not happening at Netflix. And, there was a big buzz a few weeks ago, like Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are losing their $100 million deal with Netflix. They had a 5-year deal as well. But those contracts don't exist anymore. The Obamas lost it too. They're just doing first look deals like, hey, you can bring us a project. We still want to have a relationship with you, but we're not holding you to exclusivity and with a big bloated salary.
Well, how old is he now?
Who's Stern?
Yeah.
71.
71. Okay.
Yep. No question about it. Yeah, that was quite the run. I don't even remember how long ago that was. Does anybody know how long ago it was?
When he tried to get in here?
When he was here?
Oh, gosh.
What would that have been? That would have been...
Was it the 90s?
Yeah, it was in the 90s.
Was it?
Yeah.
It's over 25 years. Oh, I suppose it was
Yeah.
over 25
Yeah.
years ago.
Yeah.
Over 30 years, probably.
Yeah, maybe over 30 years ago. But
Because the 80s were 40 years ago.
It's scary.
I will tell you what happened. The reason I didn't want to talk about this because when it was announced he was coming, it was kind of before social media, so you're probably right. It was about 30 years ago. I got all these phone messages left at the station. Tom, don't worry about it. We love your show. We did have a 40 share, so that didn't hurt. But I got call after call after call. Said we don't want to listen to him. Don't worry about it. Don't even think about it. And then Dave Hamilton, who was the program director, he came to me and said, Tom, I know the guy does well. He wins everywhere he is, but he's not going to win here. There's no way. And I said, why is that? And he said, you have a 40 share.
Well, and it was his brilliant move to just not acknowledge him.
Yeah,
right?
well, yeah. Hamilton just said, don't
Yep.
even acknowledge him. It's a waste of time.
Yeah, don't talk about him because
Yep.
then it would give, just...
Yep.
He was on the
Fuel
airways
it.
in 1997
Holy God.
Yeah.
on WRQC.
What's that?
So almost 30 years ago.
QC?
What the heck was that?
WRQC 100.3.
Huh.
What would that even be?
Lasted less than a year.
Yep.
Really?
He was
Wow.
brought in to challenge the popular local morning show, Tom Bernard on KQRS.
Oh, look at that.
But ultimately did not succeed in overtaking him in the ratings, according to the Minneapolis St. Paul magazine.
You know-
That's what AI says about it.
You know, there's not a lot of love for Stern on social media.
No,
There really
God,
is
no.
not a lot of
No.
love for him. A lot of people are saying we loved him in New York in the early days, blah, blah, blah. And then after he got syndicated, he became a sycophant. And after COVID, he became a sycophant.
Yeah,
he sure did.
There's not a lot of love for him. I just saw, there's a picture of him, and it says, another dildo showed up at a WNBA game.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's just not a lot of love.
I can't believe all the times he went with blackface and this and that. I was like, what are you doing?
Got away with
Well,
a lot
this
of
is a real
stuff.
complicated history. I mean, what he did, it's interesting now because he's completely done a 180 in terms of like
Right,
women's
right.
rights. But let me tell you, even if you watch his old E-News show
Oh.
that was on for years, it was so misogynistic. It was
was the
so
worst.
sexist, asking women about how much they weighed and
Bra
you know,
size all the time with the boobs.
So weird.
the bodies,
Yeah.
like the porn obsession, all
I
of
know.
that. And so some of his fan base abandoned him after that because they liked him for that, and then other people, he is a good interviewer. And he does get out some, and I will say as a reporter, we oftentimes will pick up quotes coming out of his show now because people will sit down and spill things that they won't spill to other reporters. So there is something in his pivot that has also worked. But the two things that are coexisting, like the old and the new Howard, are complicated in many ways.
Yeah.
And depending on the audience you're talking to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true. What's interesting about that is that in Florida, he lives about maybe a half a mile from us, but I've never seen him.
I thought he lived in LA most of the time, and he just
Probably.
has another
Not
man.
in L.A.
I thought
Palm
he
He's
Springs.
never been in LA.
No, he's never been in L.A.
Well, I thought he's got a load of mansions, I think, doesn't he? He's
He
very
has a
wealthy.
very large mansion out in the Hamptons, and I think
that's
he
why I
spent
must be
most of his
thinking.
time out there. He had moved out of the city into the Hamptons area.
And then in the winter, he comes down to Palm Beach. He has a house on Palm Beach. It's kind of like right next door to where Rush Limbaugh used to be. He was another guy. But, yeah, I mean, I just told on the honest story that Dave Hamilton said, don't even worry about it. He's not going to beat you. You got a 40 share. And the listeners just lined up, men and women, said, it's not going to work. Don't even worry about it.
Well,
They
when
just-
you didn't talk to him about him,
Right.
that didn't lead people over there to see what he had to say. and
Yeah.
those kind of things. Like he was talking about you, but
Yeah,
you
that's what I
weren't,
hear, yeah.
you know, and it wasn't working the other way.
Also, I just think Minnesota culturally, there's always been a distaste for New Yorkers. Not
maybe.
necessarily
Yeah,
New
maybe.
York, but New Yorkers.
more,
they were
more
loud.
Rhode Island.
Loud and brash, and they're this and they're that, and kind of scary in a way to Minnesota, especially back then. I just feel like the
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
culture was like, I don't think we're going to like this guy.
It was a whole
He was
different
too
deal.
much.
No question about it.
Yeah, and if you had acknowledged his presence too, it would have started a feud in the headlines too of just the back and forth between
Yep.
Tom Bernard and Howard Stern, and that never ever. I can tell you from an entertainment reporter perspective, it never plays out the way you think it's going to. It always
Right.
backfires.
Yeah.
Right.
Never worth it.
Yeah. Yeah, he was building an empire then, and he was willing to stomp on anybody, so.
Well, he still is.
Well,
I mean, that's the way he is.
It was actually very, very sad that his syndication took out a lot of people's jobs. I mean, you
Yeah,
know, he
it
just
did.
got wealthier and wealthier, and local people suffered. It was not
I
great.
had a few people text me this morning. Oh, well, not text. I guess it is texting on X2 and Facebook and all that stuff. I did not know that. Do you know that Howard Stern's bald?
Yeah.
I guess he wears
Yes.
a wig.
I
He's
never
been wearing
knew
a
that.
wig
Yes.
for a long
I
time.
didn't
That's a
know.
wig?
That's
Yeah.
a wig. I didn't know
I
that.
always say
wondered-
about 90% of the men in Hollywood over the age of like 45 are wearing hairpieces.
Really?
And they've gotten really good. So,
Oh, yeah.
but they are, most men are wearing hairpieces
I've
at
always
this point.
thought that Howard Stern looked just like a witch out of a
Yeah,
fairy tale.
100%.
And I was
Yeah.
always like, "Where's his cauldron?" He just
It's a very witchy look.
with that long kinky hair, it
And
was
like always wearing sunglasses.
Yeah,
and it's
he
like,
just didn't look pretty.
Remember, he even hired Crazy Cabby.
Yeah.
He hired him to be on the show to try to go after me, and that
Oh,
didn't work
that's
either.
right. I forgot about
You know,
that.
Cabby's dead.
Is he?
Is
He
he?
died, yeah. He did not have a good life. There's no question about it. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that up that, a lot of people are talking about that, especially on social media. And Hamilton was right. He said, just ignore him. There's no way he can beat you. You got a 40 share. It's like, okay,
that was
well, thanks.
really
right.
good advice, and
Yeah.
good that you took it too.
Hamilton was a great program director. He was very, very smart.
He was.
And Mark Steinmetz, the general manager, just got out of the way. And the only time he ever complained, and I didn't know about this until a couple of months ago, somebody told me, the only time that the general manager, Mark Steinmetz, complained is when I signed a deal making more than he did. He did not like that at all. But I'm like, Mark, you're making a pretty good
They're
living.
not listening because of the GM.
Yeah, you're making a good living.
No,
No, he was a
no.
great guy. They were very, very nice to me. That was great. The whole thing went very, very smoothly. Yeah, I mean, the problem started when everybody else decided they wanted their own show too. It's like, okay, well, whatever, you do what you want to do.
Thank you.
That's the way the whole thing works, isn't it? I mean, that's pretty common that everybody wants to do their own deal and
Yep.
I don't know, whatever. But yeah, I just thank the people on social media today said they're the ones who beat Howard Stern, not me. If they had left me, I would have gotten my ass handed to me. But the listeners did
A
not.
different world today if that had
It
happened.
sure
No,
would.
that's true. Absolutely. I
Who
mean,
knows what you'd be doing? Be greeting people at Byerly's.
I probably had.
Selling cars.
Oh, speaking of that,
Yeah,
should I
you
even say where it
selling
was?
cars.
Should I even say where it was? Where we just stopped on the way in.
Yeah.
Catherine had to run into
FedEx. Yep.
There are 5 counter spots to talk to people. One person.
It's a
Oh, yeah, they don't-
huge
yeah.
store with,
Yeah, they don't-
One
with
person.
multiple workstations and all kinds of stuff, and one person. The phone is ringing,
Yeah.
ringing. I was like, how do you do this? She's like,
That is so common
I know.
these
It
days.
is now, yeah.
I just don't
We have
understand.
our Starbucks, or I don't. Do you guys have Starbucks within your grocery stores?
Yes.
Yeah.
Some
Yep.
of them, yeah.
Some have Caribou.
I
that
think
one,
they're
it
in
is-
Targets.
They are in Target.
Okay.
Yeah, they're in Target.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I didn't know if they were also in your, because we have them in Target. Like they're across the street from each other. Like a Target in your grocery store. I mean, a Starbucks in your grocery store, and then a Starbucks like right across
Yes,
the
Yeah.
street.
we have the
That-
same thing.
yep,
yeah.
that-
Yeah, it's just insane.
They do
so,
that.
but we have Ralph's is our kind of like main grocer, and the Starbucks is in there. That one, that grocery store is extremely busy. That Starbucks is extremely busy. And there was one teen girl running it yesterday morning, and she was so sweet and so kind, but she had to man the register and make drinks.
Wow.
And
What?
she was
One
running
person?
back and forth by herself. And they sent me one, I don't usually fill out those customer service things. And I was like, first of all, your employee was amazing, smiling, not, I would bend like, I'm so frantic.
I'd just
but
leave. Just
why
close the
weren't there
doors.
2 of them at least? There need to be 2, maybe even 3 people, one manning the, register, and then 2 making drinks and doing food.
Absolutely.
Because
When,
Yeah.
you, when
Yes.
you were working at Caribou, when you were
Yeah.
a teenager, there was like 4 people there all
Well,
the
we
time.
had a
weren't there?
drive-through, and yeah, so there was a drive-through order person, a register person, and then 1 to 2 people making drinks and food.
So
Yeah.
you had 4 or 5 people there.
3 to 4.
Might-
3 to 4.
usually, yeah.
Is that ordinary for just to have one person there?
I was shocked. I've seen 2 people behind there
Yeah.
before, but and it's usually in the morning, so I was kind of shocked just to see one person.
I guess
and
it's a
I thought,
no-show, is my
I was
guess.
saying that somebody called in sick and
Yeah.
no
Called
one
in
could
Yeah,
sick,
cover it.
didn't
hopefully,
show up.
because I just thought that poor girl handled
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. Well, this woman at FedEx, she said that either somebody didn't show up or they just didn't schedule somebody.
Yeah.
She didn't know which one it was.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how do you work like this?
Unbelievable.
How do you do? And she was there since 7 a.m. It was only
Oh,
10 o'clock in the
God.
morning, and she had been
Yeah.
doing everything all by herself. I don't understand how companies keep going on. I mean, that's terrible
Yeah.
customer service, and it's very stressful on your employees.
Yeah.
And understaffing is becoming a
Oh,
trend,
yeah.
though.
Yep.
Yep.
That is the real issue, and they're trying to cut back, and then it cuts back on our customer experience, and you sit there and think, well, unless I absolutely have to go there, I won't then.
Yes, it cuts. Yeah, I think it cuts back on profits. I think it's a stupid business model.
So I have a question for all of you. All 5 of you need to answer this. How well do you think I would do behind the counter at a FedEx?
0% of it.
I'm pretty sure you'd
What
get
would you
fired
do?
in
What
the
would
first
you
hour.
do? I mean,
What do you mean?
it involves what?
You
Running
can't.
machines, a cash register, answering phones. Can you do any of those things?
Maybe not. I don't think so.
Dealing with a
Probably right.
computer, you would have to deal with a computer.
Right, a computer.
Well, I'm
You
not
would
easy
talk
right now.
Yelling at everyone.
Yeah, we'll talk to people.
There'd
That's
be people
true.
would
Hey,
come
how
in
you
and feel
doing?
good. You talk to them. You
Just
know.
the
How's it going?
computer alone, he'd be out. He'd
Yeah.
be like, what? How do I turn this thing on?
Yeah.
You don't even need to go around individually. We all give you the answer.
That's right. It's a 5-way split.
Yeah.
No, you'd suck.
No, it would be
There's
the
no
worst.
question about it. Unbelievable. It reminds me of, you remember the Dayton department stores when you lived here, Kristen? Were they around still?
Those were
Dayton's, yeah.
nice.
And no, it was Marshall Fields.
Now it's Macy's.
Yeah, now it's
Well,
Macy's.
now it's Macy's,
but
yeah.
So you were after Dayton's?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dayton's folded a long time ago.
Is it that
You'd
long?
be surprised.
Okay. Yeah,
You'd
yeah.
I was
be
there like
surprised.
2002 to 2004, and it was Marshall Fields.
Yeah.
I found a hanger in our closet from Donaldson's.
Donaldson.
Donaldson's.
Yeah.
That's been a
That
while.
has to be a 40-year-old hanger.
I bet you it's more than 40 years though, Donaldson's.
Maybe.
You could probably sell it on
I
eBay.
know it's definitely vintage, and
Yeah.
it's a very nice hanger. No rust. It's wooden. It's really nice.
Back when they made hangers properly.
I had to
Yes.
mention that because I was 16 years old. I got a job at Dayton's as one of the stock people or
Do you
whatever.
find the monkey?
Whatever it was. Yeah, the monkey, that's right. There's the monkey story. But there was a guy, the head of our department was going to show me how to do the business. So he said, just follow me around and help me out today. I'll show you how it's done. The very first thing happened, and it was not intentional. We had to take this big roll of carpet and carry it to some other part of the store or whatever. And I looked down, and you know the little cardboard cone inside a carpet?
Yeah.
It's a long tube. Well, it was sticking out about 2 feet. So I slammed it shut, hit him right in the ribs, and he literally had to go home
Ouch.
because it hit him so hard. He had to-
Contusions.
It's like, whoops. Yeah,
Oh no.
not a good move. Gee, me pissing off somebody at work. Now, who ever heard of that?
What, you being a bull in a china shop?
Bull in a
No.
china shop.
No,
Happen.
that
That's
never
very hard to
happens.
believe. But so, what else is happening in the world, Kristen Burt?
We're getting a TJ Hooker movie.
Oh.
What?
God, TJ.
Who's gonna be in it?
Who's going to remember that?
Yeah, why don't
I
I know what
don't-
that is?
You don't
Who
know?
is this?
Yes,
I'm
it was an
Googling it.
iconic '80s series with
Yeah,
William
Shatner. Yeah. And
Adrian Zmed,
yeah.
Heather Locklear.
Yeah, Heather
Oh
Locklear.
my
yeah.
God.
Yeah, Heather Locklear they brought in because they needed a little, they needed a little spice going on. The men weren't selling it, so she came in the first season to. Oh, she did that all the time in the '80s. She was added to shows consistently.
Yep.
Yeah.
But there's no report yet if William Shatner is going to appear on the show. He has to. He has
Yeah.
to
Has
be in the movie.
to. He'll
It
do
sounds
it.
crazy.
It's got to be a cameo or
Yeah,
something
he'll
at
do it.
least.
He 90?
Like-
Something.
He's got to be
He's
close.
in-
He is 94.
91.
94.
Yeah, it was just his
94?
birthday.
William
Not
Shatner
94.
is 94?
Yeah.
I'm going to
looks damn
verify
good.
that. Yes, he is in
That's-
fact 94.
Probably true.
94
He looks great.
Star Trek was a long, long time
It was a
ago.
long
I don't know.
time.
Have you seen him lately? I
For
think he's looking.
94. For
Well, yeah,
94.
he's looking great for 94. I'll give you that.
For
But he's looking
94.
older than he. I mean, when lately.
He's looking older,
Yeah.
but he's not looking.
He probably, he probably past 80 didn't have any facelifts anymore.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
I
when
mean,
you're
94
when you're
is
94, if you don't look like a raisin attached to
Yeah.
Oh, that's
lazy
nice.
boy,
Holy.
you're looking good.
You know, if
that's
you're
pretty
walking around,
terrible.
you're not dirt. I'd say
Yeah,
you're doing probably
pretty
good.
much.
you
Yeah,
know?
it's this side
90,
of the dirt.
94 is old.
That's,
Yep.
that's
It's
old.
pretty old,
Yeah.
no question.
That's
Yeah,
for
and
him.
that's
All right.
the rights were picked up by Netflix, so that's where it will land once they make it. No cast has been announced yet, but
So-
I'm assuming Shatner will show up.
Adam Sandler will be in it then.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, really.
Probably true.
Oh, for anybody that's
He's their
not-
moneymaker.
anybody that's watching Freevee, we watched a few things on Freevee,
Mm-hmm.
Canadian shows. That's going away August 25th.
Freebie is going
25th
away?
of August,
Yeah,
I think,
Freevee
right.
is not. We'll go to. I think it's Hulu.
Yeah, I think that's
What?
right.
Hulu?
Which is going
Yeah.
to Disney.
No.
Yeah, but Hulu's
It's already
going away
with
too.
I
Disney.
think it's
Yeah.
Hulu. Maybe it's.
I thought
Prime.
Freevee
Maybe
was
it
an
makes sense.
Prime thing.
Amazon owns Freevee.
It's
So
Amazon.
it's
Oh, that's right. I was
not
like,
going
wait.
forward to
Prime.
Amazon.
But,
Yeah,
and they
you
said
go.
all the content will be transferred over to Prime, and it will still be free.
Yep, consolidating
Yeah.
all of its content into Prime Video.
I don't know why
Yeah.
they didn't just do that in the first
I-
place.
Don't
Try to make
They
know.
probably
money.
bought it.
But Freevee's free, so they're not. I don't.
Well,
No,
maybe.
so let me explain this because this is
Okay.
kind of
It's
confusing.
fast.
So most streaming networks do have a FAST, which is advertising.
Free ad-supported television or
Exactly,
something
thank
like
you.
that.
So yeah, it's free ads. I can't even say
Something
it.
or other.
Yeah, exactly. But the point is, so you have like Fox, which has Pluto. You've got Tubi. Tubi is Fox. Pluto is Peacock. So
No.
No wonder we're confused.
yeah, exactly. But that's the point. Like, so they all have them because in their weird, like, let's try and make some money. They went back to the old model of broadcast, even though they're now adding ads to their streaming, but they're just trying to capture money any way possible. So
Yeah, I feel like Freevee was free because it had ads.
Yes.
Yes. That's
exactly.
why.
That's exactly it. And they tried to do some original programming, and it didn't work so well for them. So they're going to be absorbed into Amazon Prime. Also, Hulu's not going away just yet. Hulu will be a part of the Disney Plus app beginning in 2026. Just to clarify that. So you can still watch Hulu separately, and you can still watch Disney Plus separately.
But
those
why?
will be because they need to make the transition. Some people don't want a Disney Plus. Like, I don't need a Disney Plus subscription.
But
Yeah.
won't the subscriptions just kind of merge into one subscription? You would think?
Eventually, but this is kind of like the way to get everybody used to this for now. So in 2026, if you have a Hulu subscription and that's all you want to watch, you can still do that, but your Hulu will be placed within the Disney Plus app, and any Disney Plus content that you're not subscribing to will be locked.
Oh, okay. All right.
There you
So you
have
don't
it.
have to have both.
All right, this is in my brain and I got to get rid of it.
Oh dear.
You were talking about William Shatner.
Really?
Yeah.
Every time he either came in studio or called into the show, every time he go, Dom, how you doing, Dom?
Dom.
It's like, what? Why do you Dom? What do you mean, Dom?
Some people say weird words.
I guess he was
Weird
a very nice guy to interview, though.
He's Canadian, right?
I think
Sabotage.
so, yeah.
Sabotage.
Sabotage.
That's right.
That's the one that always pops in my head every time I think of him.
He was a very friendly, nice guy, though. I will tell you that.
I've always liked him. He wasn't really involved in very many scandals that I remember.
Yeah, not a lot.
Not
Yeah,
a
I was gonna
lot.
say, like, you never hear anything negative.
Not a
He
lot.
always was kind of goofy and
Just like,
yeah,
yeah.
genuine.
He used to live tweet out Dancing with the Stars because that was his favorite show when because he and Tom Bergeron are very good
Right.
friends.
Right.
And he used to live tweet about it, and he would have the funniest tweets about the show. They were amazing. It was
I love
great
that.
entertainment. I would watch his tweets more than I would be watching what was happening on the screen. They were that good.
Pat Sajak also had a very funny take on Wheel of Fortune. I mean,
yeah.
he wouldn't even talk about Wheel of Fortune that much, but he was very funny. Now that he's retired, I don't see anything anymore.
He was very good.
Yeah.
He was very, very good at that.
Smart guy.
But I mean, you know, that's-
41 years.
yeah, he's going all the way back to that situation. It just, I don't know. Things change, obviously. No
Is
question.
that genre gonna still keep going with the game shows? Is that still strong?
Still going.
Game shows are very strong, not
They must
just
be,
in daytime, but also
Oh,
in
that's
prime
good.
time.
Yeah, they must
That's
be.
why we see it. If you look at Fox's network during the summer, that's all
They have.
their
yeah.
schedule is like game shows and things like that. Yeah.
Oh, really?
It's a huge moneymaker. In fact, I'm doing an interview later today with Allison Sweeney because they're doing Lego Masters Junior.
Lego
with the kids.
Masters,
Okay.
whatever
Yeah, so
that
it's a spin-
is.
Yeah, Lego Masters is the competition show where people build.
Oh,
you have
right.
challenges.
Yes.
Yeah, it's Will Arnett's show. Will Arnett is the one who
Oh
originated
yeah.
that.
Okay.
Yep.
And Kelly Osbourne hosts the juniors version. It's actually very cute. These kids are very smart in creating these Lego creations because I watched some of the screeners. So it's going to be 4 weeks, but that's it. It's cheap. It's fast. People go and watch it. And Wheel of Fortune is doing better now with Ryan Seacrest than it was the last few seasons with Pat Sajak.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That is interesting. I never thought that would happen.
Chat wants to know if you have seen a documentary called Running with the Devil about John McAfee, or McAfee, whatever it is.
McAfee?
McAfee.
McAfee, yeah,
McAfee.
that.
I have not seen it. Anyone else?
Nope.
I don't watch documentaries.
That's the weird guy that went to like Costa Rica. and
Yeah.
The weird
his
guy who did a lot of
billions.
weird things,
Oh,
yes.
that's right.
Yeah. Okay.
Very wealthy guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he was,
He
if
crypto,
you
wasn't
had
he?
a...
McAfee.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that's right.
if you had a computer in the 90s,
Well,
early 2000s, you probably had McAfee antivirus. And
Yeah, it was
that
an
is, that's him.
antivirus,
He's
yep.
the guy who made that.
Yeah, it's Netflix is great about putting out those very fast documentaries.
Yeah.
But this one's from 2022, just so you guys know, in case anyone is looking to watch it.
Oh, okay.
Kristen, do you enjoy the fact that throughout your career, and I'm quite a bit older than you, but looking back on all the people you got to interview and meet, and I mean, it's pretty much everybody. That's kind of cool looking back on that.
When someone passes away, I usually Google like my name and the person.
Oh.
I'm like, did I interview them or not? 'Cause sometimes I forget that I interviewed them.
Yeah, you do.
It's actually shocking sometimes when interviews pop up. I'm like, I have no memory of that whatsoever.
Oh yeah, because there's so many
Yeah.
of them. Yeah.
It happens.
Well,
Oh,
you
yeah,
kinda
we've
go into
had-
autopilot.
Well, on our show, we've had people who it's like, we think that we've interviewed them and we didn't, or we
Jackson.
don't remember interviewing them, but we did, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you've done thousands and thousands of these, you're going to forget. Even important people,
Yeah.
people who you think, like, oh, I definitely would have remembered that. You're just, I don't know, you just forget.
Yeah.
Well, there's so much in a week. It's like I can do, some weeks I'm doing 10 to 20 interviews,
Yeah.
depending
Oh, wow.
on what's happening. It can be even greater than that if I have award show season and I'm doing multiple red carpets during that week. So it just is a complete blur. And sometimes, after I go to the red carpet, I usually have to work with my editor and make sure we have spellings of names correct and things like that. And sometimes I look at one, I'm like, boy, I barely remember that interview because the red carpet's so chaotic. You
Yeah.
have like a publicist signaling to you. You see someone else that might be bigger than the celebrity you're
Yeah.
interviewing right then
Yeah.
coming
How
down
many
and you
minutes
want
do
to
you?
wrap.
Yeah. How many
So
minutes do
you
you
get
actually
them.
get on the red carpet?
Right. And
with
you
somebody.
have to time
Yeah.
everything out. And so
Yeah.
sometimes I'm like, I was barely present for that one.
I've also had many situations where, like, we'll do a show, and then, I stick around after the show to edit and do all that stuff, but I stay on the chat. And people will be like, oh, yeah, remember that one time that you said? And I'll be like, no. It was 15 minutes ago, but no, I do not remember saying
I
that.
know.
There
Yeah,
it is.
I agree.
Kristen, I know you got to go, but I got to ask you one thing. I saw a special this morning. I can't remember what channel it was on
Bradshaw.
Don
Oops.
Knotts. Don Knotts, who was Barney Fife on.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I did not. You know that he was a huge ladies' man. That women just loved
yeah.
him.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Isn't that crazy?
Yep.
Boy.
Well, he's a pretty handsome guy when he wasn't making those goofy
He's
faces.
not
No, he's
handsome.
not.
Oh, come on.
He's not. He was
handsome.
never
It's
handsome.
done,
I
no.
know. Was he Mr. Furley on?
Yes,
He was Mr.
with
Furley,
the
yes.
with
Yeah,
the
so-
scarf thing,
No.
ascot
But
or
women
whatever.
loved him.
But he's funny. Women
Oh, he's very
love
funny.
Yeah.
really funny men. You can
Yeah.
be really.
That's what
you can be
saves you a lot
ugly.
of times, Tom.
Oh, that's the ticket. I get a jack for
Well,
no reason.
On that note,
Truth be told.
Boy, look at the time. Kristen, we'll talk to you tomorrow.
see you all
Take care.
tomorrow.
Good
Have
to
a
see
good
you.
one,
Thanks a
guys.
lot.
Bye.
Kristen Bird Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Mike Bryant,
We'll be
I'm
back in a
touching on
couple
the
minutes.
phone, but
Special
I
guest
don't
joining
get
us right after this.
From Bradshaw and Bryant, Michael Bryant. What's up, Pally?
Oh, not much. Doing my usual thing of telling people they shouldn't be texting and driving. In Minnesota, you can't have your phone in your hands. You can use, hands free, but you can't have your phone in your hands for whatever reason. And that's why they made the law the way they did, so that police officers could see a phone in your hand and you got no excuse for why you got it there.
Do people know that that's the law?
I hope so. I mean, they used to follow it, and then kind of COVID kind of made people forget. And now it's like a freewheeling world out there with cell phones.
Let's say you get pulled over because you do have a phone in your hand and you're not watching where you're going. You got to be in pretty big trouble then, I would guess.
Well, the first one's not as bad. It's the multiple ones, the problem. And once people start stacking them up, then they have a big problem. And then what we're doing in car accidents is we've started bringing motions for punitive damages, because I'm trying to use the civil law any way we can to stop this, because it needs to stop.
Whenever I'd had any problems in my life, who was that I called again? It was like an MB, something like that.
Bradshaw and Bryant.
Why should your business bank with North American Banking Company? Here's Brian Thiel, president of Abrasives of St. Paul.
What I like best about North American Banking Company is the small town feel with great products and very good service, and I love the people. I would definitely recommend North American to other business owners. A lot of banks I could choose from, and North American Banking Company is the one.
So why not bank where I bank? With my friends at North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. That's nabanco.com, or stop by any one of their 6 Twin Cities locations. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. very special guest in studio, Jack Jablonski. Now, how many years ago was it? You were at the old, so it had to be 7 years ago.
Yeah, it had to be
Probably
six,
closer
7
to
years ago.
10, I wonder.
10?
That's
maybe?
close to 10?
Wow.
Maybe.
Your box isn't on.
No,
Somewhere in that
maybe.
range.
Let's see. I wonder if I can find out.
I bet you could.
Like I said,
find
he was
out.
just moving out of state. So
If
when
that-
did you move?
If I was moving out of state, it would be, well, it depends because it had to be 2015.
You were
then.
episode 195, so it would have been like 2013 at the latest.
2013 at the holy
So I'm saying
God.
you were like
Yeah.
you were like a kid the last
12
time you
years
came in.
ago.
So
Yeah.
But he's called in a couple times since, hasn't he?
Yeah. We've been in,
You've been on the phone.
For sure, for sure. It's
yeah, but in studio, no, it's been a
studio.
long
wow,
time.
over a decade.
Because you've talked about a couple of different fundraisers, I think. Or,
Yeah. Good recollection. Yeah.
No, am I thinking of the wrong? But didn't you do when you were in studio? Didn't you do porno movie title or not? The game
Maybe.
show. I think
On
you did.
KQ? Was that on
Must have
that
been on
here?
KQ,
That would've
not
been
on the
KQ.
podcast.
That would have
No,
been
no,
KQ. We never.
Oh,
did
that would have been KQ
Yeah.
probably. You
I
might
don't
have
think
been
you
right.
guys did that on the podcast.
Yeah, I think
No.
porno movie title.
Catherine's just too good at it.
He's
He
about
can't do
12 years old.
The age of 17 or
Yeah, you've been
so, around
17
that
now.
time.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
So
Yeah.
what's going on now? You look great.
Thank you, I
Have you been
appreciate
hitting
it.
the weights and everything with the upper body?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on. I guess to backtrack a little bit with the injury. The original prognosis was, probably not getting anything on the left side of the body, and quickly was able to get past that, and then I'd be lucky to just bend my right arm and have some function and mobility, and quickly also went right through that prognosis. So doing really well. Been able to get a lot stronger, get a little bit more ability. With the foundation that I have, we've been able to raise a lot of money for spinal cord injury research and a bunch of different fields for the projects that we've been working on. One of them for upper mobility through electric stimulation. So that's been a really big success for us in the last 5 years or so. I was fortunate enough to be a part of one of the trial studies just because I qualified with no benefit of also being one of the funding people as a foundation. So that was a huge gain for myself, being able to get a little bit more dexterity in the fingers and being more independent. For people with paralysis, especially quadriplegics who are, have all 4 limbs affected by the injury, you look at them and obviously you can see, they can't walk or do X, Y, and Z, but if you ask anyone in my position what you would want back first, it's not to walk or anything, it's to get more independence, to get your hands,
Oh,
your,
yeah.
that makes
your
sense.
fingers, to be able to do things on your own, because you lose that independence and you feel lesser or a burden on people because you can't do anything on your own and you need other people to take time out of their day. So been able to continually get more and more independent, obviously continuing to work on that, and we have a long way to go, but at the same time have definitely made some significant gains in the last decade for sure, since the last time I saw you guys in person, but ultimately in the last 3, 4, 5 years have definitely gotten more control and abilities to do stuff on my own, which is great.
Through this, what did you say? Electrical.
Electric stimulation, yeah.
Okay, because my nephew had a brain injury. He was
Okay.
in a car accident, and it's his left arm, right?
No, he can use his left arm, but he can't use his right.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty much just there.
Yeah.
He still has a bit of a limp.
Yeah.
He has some speech problems, and he's gone through, all the therapy, all the
Yeah.
this, all the that they have. Is this something that can it help somebody that has had, something 10, 15 years ago?
Yeah, well, that's
really?
that's the great thing is for this specific trial study, which is a company called Spinex that we've helped fund, and they're California based, but can help anyone everywhere, and that's what the goal is, to get it approved by the FDA so that everyone across the country can get access to these devices. And this electric stimulation device has helped people with paralysis, stroke victims, people with MS. So there's a lot of different abilities that these devices can have in terms of improving the quality of life for people that have different type of functional, mishaps or injuries or whatever it may be. So, people with paralysis, obviously like myself, and whether it's brain injuries or anyone else in those areas, there's definitely optimism, in terms of regaining function or improving something here or there.
That's really interesting. I'll have to talk to him about this.
Did the Christopher Reeves documentary have much impact on fundraising or people's awareness?
Definitely with the awareness aspect. I think for so many people, he is that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Not only as the iconic Superman, but also he is like the godfather of raising awareness for spinal cord injury research. There really wasn't a whole lot going on before his injury in terms of improving the quality of life. It was very much, this is what you got, sorry.
Right.
And then when he came around and said, this isn't enough, this isn't good enough, we're going to try to make some changes, that grew so much momentum. And then obviously the documentary came out a few years ago, and I think everyone kind of realized that, while he's no longer here, his impact and his message is still something that is worth sharing. It's still something that we need to continue pushing for. And that's, very much along the lines of why I kind of joined that cause of, we have multiple things. The unfortunate thing in terms of spinal cord injury research is if, you have cancer, you can go, okay, we need to do chemotherapy. That's how we can treat this. With paralysis, research, there's no one answer right now. So there's a lot of different doctors all over the world. And, of course, different countries have different regulations on what they can and can't do. So, America is limited because we have, higher standards in terms of testing, morality, and stuff like that, which can be a pro and a con. But at the same time, there's no one answer. So one doctor may think it's specifically spinal stimulation without invading, into your body. Someone might also believe that, well, we can do this, maybe there's some stem cells that can help, but we can't help at the masses because stem cells are hard to recreate if all of a sudden millions of people need them. And then at the same time, you've got people who think invasive surgeries can do it, or Neuralink with like what Elon Musk and stuff are doing, where you implant things into your brain. And it's one of those things where it's like all of these things are making progress, but is there one cure right now? No. But also you can't do like all 6 of them to your body and become this robotic person that turns into Iron Man. So that's the tricky part of where we're at with spinal cord injury research. But that said, there's a ton of optimism, and all of these areas are improving people's lives, which is a really good thing.
Do you know where Musk's interest in it comes from?
That's a great question. I don't, and I hope it's just out of the goodness of his heart. But there tend to be other alternative motivations when it comes to people in that area of the world. So it's a great question. I really don't know why he zoned in on paralysis, but
I think for Musk, it's just he's really big into transhumanism.
Yeah.
And Neuralink is one of those things where it's like, you put a chip in your brain and now you can control things, and it starts with a computer, but it might be a robot or a machine, or 50 years from now, we might be using this technology to have pilots, piloting airplanes without touching them, or that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's a great point.
So, and I think that appeals very strongly to Elon Musk.
Unless I have to. Chips, unless I have to.
Well, Neuralink is it's really only for people who are quadriplegic at this point. It's for...
Oh, it's actually in use?
Yeah, not like super widespread, but it's got use, and it's seen some pretty positive results, it seems like. And it's like, if you can't move your legs or arms, your ability to do things is severely limited. So it's like, even if the chip doesn't work great, you're going to be like, sure, put it in me. Yeah. We're gonna try this thing out.
And that's a great point that you bring up, of like, well, I don't have to do it unless I have to, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm always the least invasive thing first, please, and then
absolutely.
Let's work up to chips in
my
brain.
I couldn't agree more.
That's how
for me, I've had plenty of opportunities to do invasive X, Y, and Z trials, and for me, I'm at the point where it's like, where I am in life, my abilities, of course you always want more. If you could say, you can get up out of your chair tomorrow, of course, sign me up. But the reality is we're still in a very much of a learning phase, opposed to this is a for sure success and it's the best thing that is ever going to happen to you and you'll be good to go. So
You don't want to be the guinea pig.
bingo. And then you're exactly right. I don't.
I don't blame you.
And everyone prioritizes their level of desperation or their want to get out of X, Y, or Z situation that they're in. And that's where other people will sign up to say, I'm down, I'll do it. And for me, it's like, I'm going to continue raising money for spinal cord injury research, continue spreading the word. And I think everyone in their head kind of, when it's time to take that risk or it's time to take that next step towards a bigger, more invasive or more impactful type of recovery journey.
I remember when my nephew was first injured, he was maybe 14, 15?
Yeah, that's about right.
When he was in a
think
very
he was 14,
devastating
yeah.
car accident. And I remember them telling my sister-in-law that he had, I think, 3 to 4 years to get the maximum, so they had to really work on everything because he was so young that his brain was still developing, and that they just really pushed hard, and he did all the stuff, and it was exhausting, and he went from not even being able to barely speak to, he's on his own, sort of. I mean, he's independent, sort of, which is great.
Yeah.
But I just remember them just pushing that you only had this short window to recover. And that felt like, really? I mean, that doesn't even make sense because you can recover from a lot of things, But this all sounds like, even if you have something
it's identical
that's
because
a time ago that you can improve.
I was injured over 13 years ago. And it's identical in the way that you bring it up because with spinal cord injury research, after the fact of the injury is the rule of thumb for spinal cord injuries is 18 months after your injury is when you tend to plateau in terms of feeling and function because the spinal cord is so swollen from the injury and then the surgeries and that 18-month window is when the spinal cord or the spine unswells.
Okay.
And after that 18 months, that's kind of your flat line of what you can get back in terms of feeling and muscle activation.
Okay.
So for me, with a C5, C6 injury, I have the ability to flex my biceps. And because I have that, I can get stronger biceps.
Okay. Yeah.
That happens after the 18 months. But after 18 months, it was like, okay, well, I don't have tricep movement. I can't lift. I can't lift my arm up like that because that just didn't come back.
Sure.
So that was affected permanently.
Okay.
So it's like once you get to that 18 month, it's like, okay, this is what you've probably got in terms of function, but now all these muscles that you do have the ability to activate, you can get stronger. You learn how to use it more and more. And then with all these research studies, these electric stimulation devices, whether they're invasive on the skin, all these different things, those are the areas where now we're learning that we can get back more than what we originally thought. So that's the promising part of it. Of now I've been able to, years after my injury, 3-4 years ago when I was in the study, had more movement in the ability to get more control and strength in my hand, to balance with my core, to be able to go reach and grab something without falling over my armrest and needing help getting up. So those are where the improvements are right now within spinal cord injury research, and our foundation has been, one of the backbones behind it across the country, which is really satisfying.
How often do you talk to somebody who's become a paraplegic or suffering from those kind of injuries?
Yeah, unfortunately, the injuries, they continue to happen, and that's just life, right?
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, and from being in the public eye or the public area of someone who's gone through it and has been able to kind of overcome a lot of what we were told we weren't going to be able to, both as myself, but my family and everything that surrounds us. A lot of people reach out, and when something happens to a loved one or a friend or a family friend or whatever it may be. So we've helped a lot of people in terms of kind of giving them the base of here's what you need to know. Here is, the next steps, whether it's, how to deal with, the next steps of leaving the hospital to the right away, here's what the contacts you need are. And unfortunately, there's a lot of things when it comes to insurance and the things that you need help with and coverage and all that. So it's a nightmare. I wouldn't wish this injury upon my worst enemy. And obviously that's what the foundation is for. But our goal as a foundation is to help with the spinal cord injury research. And kind of on the side, we have helped a handful of families overcome the beginning stages of the spinal cord injury aspect.
Now, why does it need to be FDA approved? Couldn't it just be an alternative medicine kind of situation?
It's a great question. I think
Of course it is.
Yeah, great.
when it comes to medical devices, that's where it gets a little bit more complex. I don't fully understand the what makes it an alternative medicine versus a medical necessity, but I think when it comes to finances or whatever, being able to be approved by a doctor or a prescription
Probably
type of
insurance.
thing. Bingo.
Ugh.
I don't think there's any surgeries where there isn't approval. I don't think you can have. Trying to think of any alternative medicine surgeries that you'd have.
No, but
Yeah.
the device.
Devices,
I'm thinking.
yes.
But there's
Devices are
like for the
different.
implants,
for
it
sure.
involves some sort of
Yeah.
surgery, even if it's a simple cut. You know?
Yeah,
So
totally. Surgical for sure. But the nice thing is that like we have the non-invasive electric stimulation
That's what
trial
I'm talking
studies,
about, yeah.
and it's a great question. It's not my area of expertise.
Because I mean, they've
in
had
terms
like
of,
TENS units, those,
Yeah.
for muscle stuff forever, So,
Yeah.
I mean, this sounds like
It's-
just that on steroids, right?
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much. It's a good comparison. It really is that, and the type of stimulation is more complex, and it's hard to kind of try to put it into words on how it works.
Sure.
But it's a more complex, higher intensity, and it's a great question. I don't fully know the answer on why
Okay.
it needs FDA approval versus just being able to be an alternative medicine, like going to a chiropractor versus something else.
Sorry, that's not my stomach, that's the dog over there. Making those
It's
terrible sounds when he's sleeping.
it's incredible how many people like we see in personal injury that are like same as you, same age, that have the incredible and their life's changed so much.
Yeah.
But it's also interesting because it's people like that you see are capable of doing so much.
Yeah.
I mean, driving a short time period, figuring out the ones that can walk, the ones that can do. It's like it's a group that's changed completely, but also it's a group that also has the ability to just pivot and do something new. I mean, you've come so incredibly far.
Yeah,
You know.
I think it's a combination of, at least from my perspective, growing up as an athlete and being someone that has faced adversity. Whether it's not making a team or it's being told you're not good enough or strong enough, small enough, whatever it is. And so part of that was when I was injured, I related it a lot to like the goal setting aspect and proving people wrong and proving the doctors wrong, because those were all mental hurdles that you can set goals for and overcome, a lot like the athletic side. But at the same time, whether you're an athlete or not, as you mentioned, in the world of, when you're facing the worst of the worst in terms of outcomes, I think a lot of people, it dawns on them that there's really two options. One is fight and make your life better, and the alternative is dark. It's just
Right.
giving up. It's not doing anything. It's just staying at home, and your life and body deteriorates, and it just
Depression, yeah.
goes real south real quick. So I think at some point the majority very much the majority realize that. And some it's right away, some it takes time. And for me, you know, with the support that I had, especially so early on, it was such an obvious choice. Even as daunting and scary as it was in the first, you know, weeks, eventually that quickly became a motivating factor. And again, you know, without the support of the community, it would have been a much tougher decision. And, you know, it would have been a lot harder to eventually get to where I am today. But very fortunate, and that's definitely how, you know, I think the mental aspect of some type of catastrophic injury kind of works behind the scenes.
Sure.
That's wonderful. Now I have a question for you.
Yes. He doesn't have a mic on though.
No, that's all right. You can talk loud. Okay. We're fine. How much of the time of the day do you have to fight off all the women from getting to him? Well, he's a handsome kid, right?
I think that's his problem, right?
Oh man.
Leslie and I go to California quite a bit. That's my daughter. We see him, and he goes right down on the beach, and life is good.
Good.
See, that's a wonderful thing. Do you think, I mean, is it because of the family that really helped you get to the point you are today? Because some people just don't have anybody supporting them.
Yeah, and that's a hard thing
Yeah.
to relate to and to fathom, because it's so unfortunate.
It is.
I know for me that, you know, my family, my parents, and how supportive they were, and my brother being by my side, you know, for so long, especially in those early days, just willing to sacrifice so many things in their lives to allow me to try to, you know, progress and make the best out of what the situation was is something that, you know, I don't take for granted, but also realize how lucky that I had that support system. And, you know, beyond the family, the community that was so supportive, and, you know, people that reached out, whether it was famous athletes or just, you know, a random person, you know, in the community that sent stuff to the hospital and, you know, wrote messages, like all of that, for me, it made, whether it was coping or it was taking those next steps figuratively within the recovery process, it absolutely had such a huge impact. And I truly don't know where I would be without that. And that's where I think the motivation to make a difference within the spinal cord injury world, within the foundation, is so strong.
Yep.
Because I was fortunate enough to have a voice, to be given an opportunity to make a difference and try to, you know, help those like myself that may not have gotten these opportunities to be able to, you know, work out at, you know, facilities that have this technology and these methods that have, you know, had such a great impact. So for me, it's definitely a motivating factor to help those like myself, because I know how awful of a day it can be when you wake up and you're not feeling right. And, you know, I think a lot of when you're going through things on a daily basis that are not the normal for an able body, you kind of try to dehumanize it and separate yourself. And, you know, you can't get in bed on your own. You can't get out of bed on your own. And there's so many things in between that you can't do for someone who still has it better than a lot in this situation. So, you know, I can sympathize for people just like myself. And I think that's definitely why myself and my family and so many people in our inner circle have wanted to help make a difference. Of course, for myself, but so many people in this world that are also going through the same thing.
Do you have ever a sense of that just a lot of this is just surreal?
It is. It's surreal in so many different ways, too, because it's surreal in like how the hell did we get here?
Exactly.
How the hell is this? What
one
has
day
happened?
you're doing this, and the next minute you're doing that.
Exactly,
that,
right?
Yeah.
You know, you go back 13 plus years and you're living the dream, and, you know, you're on your way. You've got a promising hockey career ahead of you, and And then all of a sudden, you wake up and, you're in a hospital bed with a halo and 4 nails drilled into your skull. So,
were you aware when you got the injury or did you like black out?
So to give you an insight in that, I remember, I had the puck the whole time, and then I went towards the net with the puck, but couldn't get to the net, so I started to turn around. And as I turned around, I got hit by 2 players simultaneously from behind, and got launched headfirst into the boards. So I don't remember getting hit, and I don't remember hitting the boards.
Okay.
And the second I hit the boards is when everything broke, and the spinal cord was severed. So I went flying into the boards headfirst, right on top, right into it, broke my neck, severed the spinal cord, and fell to the ice essentially as a dead body, because I had lost everything at that point. I don't remember hitting the boards. I don't remember hitting the ice. But the second I did hit the ice, I was fully conscious.
Oh.
So at that point, I was fully aware of what was going on. So you heard the arena go silent. I was stuck laying on my side, just staring into the boards. But I was completely immobile. I could feel my head, but from the injury at the point there down, it was completely gone.
Oh,
so I
wow.
couldn't move or feel
Right,
anything
like
from the
that.
neck down, and it was obviously had a horrible pain in the neck. Didn't know what was going on, but everything was gone at that point. So, essentially was fully conscious on the ice, fully conscious. Obviously, once I got into the the ambulance, medications started getting pumped into me, and kind of in and out the rest of the day. And then essentially woke up a week later, even though I was conscious the whole time.
Right.
That makes
I was just so
sense.
medicated.
Yeah, they were
in that
probably
first.
waiting for that swelling.
Yeah, that first
they don't want you
week.
moving around.
That first week, I have very few memories. And then, the injury was on a Saturday. The next Saturday is when the memory kind of comes back. So
So did you ever hear from those 2 guys that hit you?
yeah, the one who was at fault, he obviously was heartbroken.
Right. Good.
It's a physical sport. You know the dangers of the game when you play it. Of course, you also never think it's going to be you.
Right. Right.
Otherwise, you wouldn't play it. But, you play for the love of the game, and you understand the risks in any sport. The injury, was it an illegal check? Absolutely. Don't do that. Was it his intention? Obviously not. And it's a fast sport. Things happen. He was gutted, heartbroken. He and I kept in touch, especially early on. He felt horrible. He visited me in the hospital, and I made sure that he understood that I didn't blame him. It's he didn't try to do what he did. It just happened. But at some point, he was again heartbroken, felt horrible.
But you had to be a little mad.
Of course. Yeah. Of course. Yeah. I mean,
Just a little mad.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. He completely changed the trajectory of my life.
Yes.
It for the worse in reality, but still living a good life. But I made sure that I didn't, wasn't, making a voodoo doll of him, type of thing.
There you go.
So we kept in touch for, a few years, and then, and he really struggled with it too.
Sure, I'm sure he
there's
did.
a lot of, survivor's guilt would be a solid comp, I think.
Yeah.
And then, after about 2 or 3 years, I kind of just had to separate myself from being in contact with him.
Yeah.
He struggled and I struggled, but I just needed my own space at that point.
Yeah.
So,
Makes sense.
I still follow him on Instagram and you see how he's doing every once in a while, but we've lost contact, and it's been for the better for myself.
Sure,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes
We were
sense.
watching a show yesterday. This an Inuit hockey player. He was the first Inuit hockey player to get into the pros.
Wow.
Yeah.
Then they were showing some video of him playing. He was a maniac. He was just checking people. They were flying away from him. I was like, that's brutal, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's a
I couldn't
physical
believe
sport.
Yeah, and
it.
check-ins changed a lot over time too.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
This
yeah.
guy was
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up with
vicious.
the open ice checks. You
Yeah.
know, that, like
Scott-
Johnny Busick used to hammer people in center of the ice, and you
Yeah,
know,
Scott
so,
Stevens
yeah,
and
yep.
the Broad Street
Yeah.
Bullies.
Yeah, you watch videos of, like some of these hockey players, you're just like, shit.
Yeah, it's-
I
Is
know.
that from the thing we watched last night?
Yeah, that still standing. In that.
Still standing. This town in Canada,
Oh, it's on the north
it gets
side
down.
of the Hudson Bay. So
It
it's
gets down
way,
to
way up
93
there.
below.
Yep.
Why would you live there?
Wind chill.
Why would anyone be there?
93 below zero.
Apparently there was some nickel mine that opened up and all these Inuits
You gotta go.
came to work there and they, when it closed down,
Oh,
they
geez.
haven't left and there's no trees.
I'm
There's
guessing.
no roads. There's no roads.
I'm guessing they came in the summertime.
Well, the summer, an interesting little fact is it almost never snows in July and August.
Wow.
Almost
Got that going for them.
Because I got to fly. So, see you later.
Okay.
Take care. We'll see you.
All right, thanks, Michael.
Great to see you again.
Great to see you.
Michael Bryant, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
You just
yeah,
go around
let's
that
go.
way. I'll go.
Let's go.
Don't take your mic with you, Mike.
Yeah, but I was
Oh.
going to give it to.
Oh, yeah, I was like, what are you
there
doing?
Me and your dad already talked.
That's our property.
Yeah, after
Taking
watching.
it home with him.
After
Almost
watching
never
that-
snows in July.
Yeah,
Almost
June
never
or
snows. When we watched that, I had to, of course,
See
look
you
it
later,
up.
Michael. Thank you.
And it's the high, the very, very high is in August. It's maybe 68.
It sounds nice. 68.
And he's
Yeah,
like,
68 's
yes.
nice.
But
Yeah.
it's
For
47
me-
below real temperatures, 98 below wind chills,
Unbelievable.
and everything has to be
98
brought in by a barge.
And they're playing hockey
Or an airplane.
at this. Well, what else are you
Well,
going
this
to
guy
do?
just turned into, well, I guess there's 7 feet of ice that they're living on.
I was going to say, like,
Yeah,
it just
yep.
has, it's all ice.
Yeah, but you can't play 40 below and 80 below.
No, I
That's
can't
true.
see that.
No, I wouldn't
You're
imagine.
Right.
I don't even understand how it's possible to live in that kind of, I mean, they don't have trees, so they don't have
No
fire.
trees.
I don't understand how they get fuel. I don't understand
I know.
anything. I'm like, why do you
That
live
makes
here?
sense.
I'd
You
be bolting
left
out
the
of there.
documentary with more questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
answers.
exactly
I
right.
couldn't believe this.
The lowest natural temperature ever recorded at ground level on Earth is minus 128.
That's just wrong.
Where's that in St. Paul?
Vostok Station in Antarctica.
Antarctica.
Ah,
yeah.
Antarctica.
That makes sense. But I mean, 90 below sounds like impossibly cold, but Earth gets colder
It
than
can get
that.
worse.
It's called the
Yeah.
Rankin Inlet,
Rankin,
R-A-N-K-I-N. The average temperature of the coldest month is of 30 below centigrade. What's that? It's usually
Minus 30
you
C.
double it and add 14 or something?
It's something like that, but it's minus 22 Fahrenheit. Once you get down to the minus, it's different.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I know minus, I think 40 is the same in both, or is it? Let's see.
I don't know.
Let's
just-
see
yeah.
here. Yeah, minus 40 C is the same as minus 40 F, so there you go.
Yeah,
But
around
there's
40
your, like,
below on the coldest days of the year.
fun stuff.
I just am like, no, thank you.
We should probably take a quick
Yeah.
break. Be right. You guys got another segment in you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, we'll be right back.
Hi, Jude.
Why should your business bank with North American Banking Company? Here's Brian Thiel, president of Abrasives of St. Paul.
What I like best about North American Baking Company is the small town feel with great products and very good service, and I love the people. I would definitely recommend North American to other business owners. A lot of banks I could choose from, and North American Banking Company is the one.
So why not bank where I bank? With my friends at North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. That's nabanco.com, or stop by any one of their 6 Twin Cities locations. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. For Brad John Bryant, Michael Bryant. Michael, what's up?
Dealing with another case where a person gave a statement to the adjuster because they thought the person was really friendly.
Is that a good idea?
Well, the problem is they know the law when they call you up. And while you're trying to be fair and you're trying to get help, the reality is there are questions you get asked that the way you answer them make a big difference. And people put themselves in trouble. And when they aren't in trouble, they didn't do anything wrong, but suddenly the adjuster's got a statement that can blow up their case completely.
What has caused people to be so
untrustworthy, I guess is the best way I could put it. They take advantage.
Well, insurance companies have hired adjusters whose job it is to deal with unrepresented people. So they're supposed to kind of lure them in, call them every day, see how they're doing, and people are like, oh, I'm doing pretty good. Where the reality is they've kind of adjusted to their problem that they've got going on. So it's not that they're completely better, but the way they say it gets to be a problem. And that's why having somebody who can explain your rights, represent you, make sure that you understand the law before you give a statement can make a big difference in your case.
Michael Bryant, Bradshaw and Bryant.
Get the jobs. What? These people are hardy.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about Rankin Inlet up there, where it does get down to 98 degrees below.
And one of the stories was that a woman was pregnant on a dog sled coming up to this area to work in the tin mines. Or nickel or tin, I can't remember which one it is, but
it's quite the show. I mean, that show's still standing. Have you ever seen it?
I haven't. No.
it's a
really
very
good.
short little 20 minutes, and this guy who is on a series, he goes to all these tiny little towns all around Canada that are sort of dying, because a mine closed or the railroad doesn't come here anymore.
Right.
And just talks to the people and how they're coping. And it's very interesting, and he does a great job. He makes it
he's really
very
good.
entertaining. It's not all doom and gloom. It's entrepreneurship, and
It's a fascinating.
it is. It would be kind of fun to have somebody do that in America. I mean, think of all the small towns that could use a little boost.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Midwest.
Yeah.
You look at the railroad areas.
Yeah.
Rust Belt.
Yeah.
The Rust Belt.
Well, up in northern Minnesota, it was all the taconite stuff that went away,
Iron
and
Range.
logging. Yep, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
No doubt about it. So,
Changes the
what are the
landscape.
plans now? How old are you now?
I'm turning 30 later this year.
You
Oh
are
my
not.
God.
Oh my
You
God. You were just like a
Time
little
flies.
baby,
You were
it
a little
seemed
baby.
like.
Yeah.
Last time I saw you.
Life is in California right now, but, figuring out my next steps in the work area. I'd worked for the Kings for 10 years, and then just finished that up, just in the last week or so. So.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, which is, I had a great run there. It learned a lot, grew up a lot there. But home base is Hermosa Beach right now, so loving that life.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I've got so many, strings attached here that we'll see what happens in the future.
One string right at the end of the table, right?
Yeah, with the family is still based here, but I've got a condo out there, and love the situation I've got there, but gotta, at this point in my life, figure out a few more specific directions on where I want to take my career and go from there. So things are good.
What's amazing to me is looking back again. So you got hurt 13 years ago? Is that what it is?
13 years ago, I was 16.
You were 16 years old.
Yeah.
But I remember you coming in, and you never, not once said, this is horrible, I don't want to put up with it. You've never taken that approach. It's like, no, we're going forward here.
Yeah.
That's a great move. You must inspire a lot of people. Do you do a lot of speaking to people that might be through the same thing? Going through the same thing?
I've done a handful of public speaking.
Yeah.
Not this summer, but the summer previous, I did a TED Talk.
You did? Okay.
For TEDx Minneapolis, and that was a lot of fun because I was able to kind of open up on the inside of my mindset and whether it's coping or it's overcoming obstacles and those areas, it was a really good opportunity to kind of open up in a way I haven't talked a lot publicly before. But at the same time, you just try to make the best of what's in front of you. You can't change the past, and for me, again, this isn't ideal, but there's still so many things to enjoy and experience and look forward to, even though it might not be what I projected my life to be when I was 15 years old.
Right.
So, things change in life, and you can't always be the one that gets to choose certain
to be
outcomes.
honest, almost everybody's life doesn't turn out the way they think it's going to.
Probably true.
In so many ways.
You're right on point, and it is what it is, right? You can't change the past, and for me, it's just about looking forward, making the best of the situation that I'm in right now, and hoping to make the future better than the trajectory it's on as long as I continue to, stick with it from a mental standpoint, but also from a physical standpoint and taking care of my body, and hope that you can catch a break here too in the future.
I think there's a lot of interesting things coming up, and I don't know what they're all going to be, but every once in a while you see something posted about this woman has never walked in her entire life, and her engineer dad made her this shell where
Yeah.
she can just experience standing up and going forward.
Yeah.
Nobody could ever do that kind of stuff before
No,
because of the advancing in
Yeah,
robotics.
the
and-
technology is very much on that upward trajectory on the bell curve, so to speak. It's what we've learned, and this is for everything, but obviously in my world with spinal cord injury research, what we knew at the time of my injury compared to what we know now is insane.
Yeah.
Just the difference in what the mindset was at the time of my injury to what we now know,
Sure.
not just believe, but have proof, the evidence, the research, the results. It's great. Our foundation has raised over $4.5 million since
awesome.
we've opened it up, and as we kind of reflect and celebrate on 13 years of the foundation this year, we're proud that we've been able to impact hundreds of lives when it comes to improving the quality of life, taking a paraplegic, being able to insert some implants, and then all of a sudden they're walking with a walker the length of a football field
That's
on their
amazing.
own.
That is
So
really
there's a
amazing.
bunch of different stories that we have, as a foundation, been able to help write, and we're still in just the beginning. Hopefully it's soon to end and we find an answer. But the reality is we've still got a little bit of a ways to go. But I truly believe by the time that my time is done on this planet, that I'll be out of my chair at some point. So things are improving at a great rate, and we're learning a lot, both internally as our foundation and the spinal cord injury research world as well.
Are your donors mostly individuals or corporations or
Combination. Yeah, combination. Of course, individual donors is something that we are continuing to hope to expand and get a larger footprint.
Sure.
But at the same time, corporate donors, corporate sponsorships for all of our events. I have our foundation golf tournament coming up on Monday, which is one of the reasons I'm back in the cities for a good week or two. Over at the Wilds in Prior Lake, Minnesota. So
It's a beautiful area.
yeah, it's awesome. We've got that event coming up on Monday with basically sold out at this point. By the end of the weekend, it'll be sold out. And then our gala, which is our big fundraiser, will be on November 1st with the Minnesota Wild at the
Oh, that's great.
Grand Casino Arena now that it's
Yeah,
been
Grand
changed.
Casino Arena, that's right.
Gotta remember
Shame
the
on
name
them for
change.
not calling it Grand Casino Center. I feel like it rolls off the tongue better.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it does.
we've got our gala at the River Center, and then in conjunction with the Minnesota Wild game on Saturday, November 1st. So
Oh, wow.
we're excited for that event that we'll be putting on, and it'll be a great night of entertainment for both the pregame, which is the gala, and then the game itself.
Where can people find tickets?
JackJablonskyFoundation.org. So we've got our website. A simple Google search of the foundation will lead you right there, or the URL at the same time. So more you can learn about the foundation, what we've done, what we're doing, our events that are coming up, and how to be a believer. One option is to be a monthly donor at $13 a month, or of any dollar amount that you choose. As we can continue to grow that pool, it just helps us get a larger impact on where we can donate and the amount of projects that we can help contribute.
Is there a certain corporation that's doing the most research in this area?
There's a few different areas. I mean, you have different companies that are helping produce devices like Medtronic and other.
I know, that's when you were talking, I'm like, Medtronic has
Yeah.
got to sponsor this kid.
Well, so they have a lot to do with a lot of the electric stimulation devices. There's different other companies that do the same thing. Obviously, Medtronic is a big leader in that department.
Okay.
And then there's a bunch of research facilities across the nation that are really impactful when it comes to the information that we're learning and the studies that are being run. Christopher Reeve Foundation is still very much a part and one of the leaders within America in terms of, funding, but also finding out answers and running studies. So we've got quite a bit of an impact. We've helped, fund some project that they've been a part of. Reggie Edgerton is a doctor who is kind of the godfather of spinal cord injury research within America. He ironically runs out of LA, so I've gotten to know him and we've partnered with him quite a bit on his research studies and his predecessors and apprentices as well. So it's a growing community, unfortunately, within the spinal cord injury world. People continue to get injured, but it seems like we're really getting close to being able to find more answers on how to improve the lives when someone gets injured and getting them into areas of success in their rehab early on. And then at the same time, there's a lot of promise for people with chronic injuries like myself who are still able to gain recovery and function and improve our lives, even though we're over a decade from the injury itself.
Great.
So that's a really good thing because obviously as we continue to find answers, people continue to get injured, and there's people that have been injured for decades, and knowing that they can still improve their lives with some of these devices and studies is a really promising and hopeful thing.
I just hope there's some crazy mad scientist genius, working on something on their computer, and they've almost got some groundbreaking thing. You never know.
There's a lot of that. There's doctors across the world in Australia and Switzerland and anywhere in between that have had some really impactful things. And even here with what Elon Musk is doing, it very much is a sci-fi-esque type of thought process. But those are things that are truly making a difference, and we're learning how things can connect. The big problem is when you sever a spinal cord, just think about taking scissors and cutting a bunch of cords that are there's millions of them within your, going up and down, and you can barely even see them in a microscope. So you cut that, how do you reconnect them? Well, you can't because they're so thin and small, but how do you get what's going on up here in your brain to tell your leg to move? Well, that's the cord that got cut. So how do you jump that? How do you reconnect that message? That's the $1 billion question. And
Somebody's
a lot
figure it out.
a lot of people are finding out that there's ways to do it.
Sure.
The odd part is we don't know how or why sometimes.
Yeah.
So again,
Gotta bypass
if we can
the wiring somehow.
Exactly. And there's been a lot of different types of, routes taken, and we've seen a lot of progress in that, and now it's just time to keep trekking along until we can all get to that point.
Fantastic.
That's wonderful. We'll take our final break here, but going into the final break, we'll come back and say hello, but going into it, this story just popped into my head about 10 minutes ago. When I was, I believe, 13 years old. A friend of mine's father got in a very serious car accident and was paralyzed from the neck down. I mean, completely paralyzed. And so you would go over to his house. His name was Francis. My friend's name was Francis. And I'm, like I said, 13 at the time. So I go to pick up Francis, and I hear his father go, "Tommy!" I'm like, okay, your father wants to talk to me. Now this is I'm 13 years old, 1965 this is. And so I walk in there, and like I said, he could only move his mouth. He couldn't even move his head much, actually. So he's laying in bed, 1965, and he goes, "Tommy, I need you to do me a favor. I don't want Francis getting hurt. So you two go out there, but don't get hit by a streetcar." I'm like, what the hell is a streetcar? I'm like, no, that was about 1920. I'm like, what the hell? I had no idea what a streetcar was.
Oh, really?
They didn't have streetcars back then. I guess they brought some back now, haven't they? I guess.
One around Lake Period.
But I mean, that's
the trolley.
this is a guy that never got out of bed again.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a total difference.
Yeah.
Well, they probably
Completely.
didn't have any of the therapies that.
Oh, I can't even.
No.
Yeah.
I can't even
Yeah,
imagine
it was
what
just-
1965 paralysis.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's just like, there you are.
Yeah.
There's nothing we can do for you.
Yeah.
There was a kid in my neighborhood who was in a motorcycle accident, and he had an electric wheelchair, but he couldn't move anything.
Yeah,
Except
yeah.
for his fingers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's it.
it-
And that was it forever.
Yeah, we've come a long way, thankfully.
Yes.
But I
Yes.
Yeah.
can, you sympathize for someone who had this long before, life was
Yeah.
still had optimism and promise. And
There's
stuff
exciting
like that.
things ahead. I mean, just like I said, just in robotics and all of the things that they've got going. I mean, you
100%.
might be able to just put on a robot suit. And they can move. I mean, you don't know.
Yes, no,
I
you're
mean,
right on it.
it's
There's
unbelievable.
exoskeleton
Yeah.
type
Yeah,
of
I've-
things where you
Crazy.
Well,
you can
back
get
to-
into something and there's a lot of examples where like even people of my function can get into these type of robotic, type of skeleton-esque, Iron Man suits and then all of a sudden, they can start moving things around. So it's really promising.
Yeah.
We're not there yet, but
we're
but we're
getting
getting
there,
there,
though.
that's
Yeah.
for sure.
It's great.
We'll take that last break, come back and say goodbye. Be wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, what matters to businesses? Extra is extraordinary. It's ordinary in both ways, ordinary, extraordinary in Sioux Falls. Just look at the numbers. In addition to having a business-friendly tax environment with no personal or corporate state income taxes, Sioux Falls is growing as a large, well-educated workforce. Cost of living is low with a central location and developed industrial parks. Well, so is your cost of doing business. Contact the Sioux Falls Development Foundation to connect with tools and resources to stop searching for a perfect business site and start growing in Sioux Falls. Number 1 most affordable city, according to Empower. Number 2, best job market, according to Smart Asset. And number 3, in economic strength by Polycom, Sioux Falls ranks first in the nation for total bank assets of $3.5 trillion. My God. Doing business in Sioux Falls, South Dakota is one of the most business-friendly states in the country, and the place to take advantage of these incentives is Sioux Falls. As the state's largest city with a metro population of over 290,000, Sioux Falls has low business costs with a high quality of life. There's no state, corporate, or personal income tax, no inheritance tax, and no limits to what your business can achieve. It's the number 1 best small city for business and careers, according to Forbes. Number 2 best state business tax climate from the Tax Foundation. And number 5 top state for e-commerce according to Nexus. You're listening to me, your customers listen to me, and they will hear me promote your business. The Tom Bernard Podcast attracts thousands of listeners who are loyal, engaged, and ready to support businesses they trust. Our podcast has helped numerous businesses increase traffic, as a matter of fact. Traffic, sales, brand recognition. We're not just about ads, we're about results. Whether you're a local business or a national brand, we offer custom advertising packages designed to fit your unique needs and goals. Our audience spans multiple demographics, allowing you to target your ideal customers with precision, from millennials to baby boomers and everyone in between. With the broad reach of the show and passionate following, your business will see increased visibility and awareness, translating into more customers and sales. Oh, he's rocking out to end the show now.
Well, the dog is like, excuse
Yeah,
me,
he's
you're
like-
running along.
Yeah, like, we were supposed to
Dog's
be
like,
done in 10
He
minutes.
knows
There you go.
exactly what time
What are we
it is.
doing?
He does know what time we get to go. Well, thank you so much both for coming in. It's
Yeah,
always
great to
great.
see you both.
I mean, you've made a lot of progress, no question
Yeah.
about it.
Thank you.
That's wonderful.
Great.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate you having me on, and yeah, it's I can't believe it's been a decade.
It's been that long already. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Time flies.
And I didn't get any older, so.
You look great.
No, nice try.
You
Don't
look
start.
great.
Well, please pop in once in a while. We'd love to hear all these things.
Yeah.
I mean, because they're, like I've seen when I was a kid, there were certain people in the neighborhood that happened to them, not Francis's dad, but other people, they just gave up. It was,
Yeah.
I suppose there was nothing back then to
Probably
help
was
them.
hope
There,
back in
there
those
wasn't a
days,
there
yeah.
wasn't reason for a lot of hope at the
Yep.
time, but
Yep.
now we've definitely come across at a time where there is that optimism, and we're seeing gains in people's lives, whether it's strictly getting back on your feet and walking versus for me, yes, of course, that's the end goal. But getting hand function, being able to do things on my own, not needing assistance,
that's
and
great.
in so many different areas. So you feel better about yourself. I think a lot of people in our situations can definitely feel like you're a burden, or you're taking time away from people's lives, and those are the mental hurdles that you have to overcome, and hope that you're in a support system that can handle that and
Right.
wants to help, which not everyone has. So I've been very fortunate to have that, and I'm very appreciative of the opportunities and the relationships that I've been able to make.
No, it's
and,
great.
Thankful to be out here today. So definitely
Well,
won't
we
stop
love
it.
having you, no question.
Appreciate it.
Hey, watching people make progress is a wonderful thing.
Yes.
It is. It's just great to watch it all. So come back soon.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for coming. That'll do it. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye-bye.